Some people be asking me, Drew, why do you get excited about newspaper? Well, it's fun cutting it, it's fun rolling it, but they're like, no, Drew, you really get excited about newspapers. Look at this. All these colors. What is not to get excited about? That just got me in my feels. What's up, everybody? We alive. Another day above soil. So if this is your first time watching my content, or maybe this is your fourth, fifth, or sixth time, and you still haven't, hit the subscribe button. It should be right down below. I'm also going to include my Etsy and Instagram in the description. Have you ever had that feeling on the inside of you where it may be a different situation or a place and something just doesn't feel right? You know, you get the kind of butterflies in your stomach, you get heartburn, some people experience a headache, maybe it could be as bad as a migraine. I know for me, sometimes my ear starts to ring. Whenever I get that kind of feeling that's just not right, it just makes my body go into some kind of feeling like, oh, it's not going to happen. This is not right. Inversely, you might encounter a situation where things do feel right. It may be a serene kind of setting. Maybe it might be a park with a nice lake in front of you. And you're like, or maybe it's a nice swig of tea. It's ice cold on a hot day. I'm just saying, this makes me feel so good. Like right now, I see the lake, I feel the breeze, the sun is right in my face. It's right, it feels right. So I've been doing these videos for a hot second. And some of y'all might be wondering what this is. Yeah, right here. You're probably wondering what this is. It's not a waffle, believe me. And I get that very often. It's not a waffle. Some people might not see it very clearly, so I'm just gonna blow it up. This is a Kairos cross. So outside of working with artwork and outside of my actual job, I bowl. And when I bowl, there's a tendency of seeing a repetitious pattern of strikes. I get up on the lane, I throw the ball, boom, strike. I sit back down, I roll the newspaper. I get up on the lane, I throw the ball, boom, strike. And then I sit back down. I get up, I get on the lane, throw the ball, boom, I strike, and then I sit back down. It's like clockwork. But there's some of these instances where I'm up on the lane and I throw the ball, and as soon as it's released from my hand, I know that it's gonna strike. And not only does it strike, but it's just phenomenal. Everybody in the bowling center would hear it. That is Kairos. Another way that I could define Kairos is maybe rolling these newspapers. I might roll it just right, and it comes off this knit needle clean as a whistle. That's Kairos. Or maybe there might be a surfer out in the ocean. They see perfect swell, they get that perfect wave, and they don't fall off that surfboard. That is the sensation of Kairos. Maybe you're a volleyball player. The ball comes to your side of the court. As soon as you see the opening, whop! They ain't getting that ball back to you. That is the sensation of Kairos. So some of y'all that are watching this right now is probably like, Drew, I know what you're talking about. I actually went on that retreat. I did too. I got this from the actual retreat called Kairos. But I'm not going to get into the specifics of that specific retreat. I'm not going to talk about that. I encourage y'all to go on Kairos. It's a great experience. If you happen to go to a Catholic high school or maybe a Catholic college, they're out there. I encourage y'all to go. It's a great experience. But through the research of the word Kairos, it has a very big meaning toward it. Right place, right time, right reasons. That is the deeper meaning of Kairos. Right place, right time, right reasons. The sensation of Kairos happens to be about the opportune. It's the right timing of things. It is a very supernatural thing, something that comes from the heavens in some situations. And when it does happen, it's miraculous. And there's a certain rarity when it comes to that feeling of Kairos, where it may not happen every day, it may not happen every week, it may not even happen every year. But when it does happen, it leaves an everlasting impression. There's a time, a place, and a reason for everything. Let's take art. Last video you see me start something with Black Lives Matter. I felt that it was the right time for me to do it. About a few months ago, it was sometime in 2019, I came out with a picture that was entitled Load Toner. I got the idea from somebody who was having a vicious fight with a printer, and the printer won. And I saw a whole bunch of magenta, a whole bunch of yellow, and some cyan. I made a piece of artwork from it. It just made sense, and it was beautiful. I'm gonna put it up on the video in just a few seconds. I mean to say this because sometimes things happen in very random situations. Had I have not seen that person struggle with the color printer, Load Toner wouldn't have been a thing. Had I have not moved to Oswego, LDX probably wouldn't have been a thing. That's just how it is. Here's my new microphone. It's a perfectly good mic. I put it on a lapel, I put it on the top of my shirt, I'm good to go, right? Wrong. I was ready to go. I had my mic, I had my newspapers, I'm at the lake, at a park, the weather's nice, everything was in order. Had my mic, and yeah. It has an earphone jack. iPhone 11 doesn't have earphone jacks. I do have an adapter for it, but guess what I did? I left it at home. Yay me. I let this same principle come out within my artwork. If it feels right, I'm going to do it. If I see a good scene of nature, I'm going to illustrate it or I'm going to paint it. If I have a concept in mind that makes a lot of sense, I'm going to go about doing it. And if it feels right, that's when it's time to take action. Y'all can trust and believe that I'm not in any hurry to make artwork. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to do my thing. Because if I don't take my time and I don't let things happen, that's when things become a hot mess. So I'm going to ask y'all a question. Would y'all rather have something done right, or would you rather have it done right now? Think about that for a minute. I'll be honest, there were some things I put out there and it was done right now instead of done right. I mean, even today, I was about to use my new microphone. But am I using it right now? No. Why is that? I believe quality is better than quantity. I can put out more stuff. I can make bowls. I can make all these clocks. I can make a whole bunch of wall hangings. The colors might not make sense. It may have Pantone 448C on it, and I just don't care. But ethically, that wouldn't make sense in my opinion. I care more about the quality of things than the actual quantity. Like, for example, I don't want to put something out there and then people are just going to arbitrarily buy it and then throw it up against the wall. That's not how it works. Your thoughts, your feelings, your words, your actions should all come organically. Just let it happen. Just take it like the leaf in the wind. Wherever it blows, it lands. If the wind blows this way, let it blow this way. If the wind blows that way, let it blow that way. With creative ideas, just let it happen. I am not doing my artwork in a factory. That's not how it works. I'm not putting together an assembly line, and my imagination does not run on a conveyor belt. My imagination comes from here, and it comes from here. That is the basis of making things with quality. That is the basis of Kairos. So I'm going to tell y'all a little bit of a story about some of my instances in undergrad. I majored in communications, and I had a minor in fine arts music. At first, I thought I was going to be a psych major because I was influenced by Dr. Phil. Well, after Psych 101, that was definitely not the case. So I was back to square one. So I went back to the drawing board. And I thought that psychology had a lot of tests and not enough writing. So I said, okay, cool. So as the semester went on, I was doing more papers and I was taking tests. I got very stressed about tests, but writing came organically. So I thought to myself, I wonder if there was any majors that had to do with writing and less about tests. So I narrowed it down to English or communications. At the time, communications seemed like the right thing. And I majored in it. Well, Drew, how did you get a minor in music? Ever since I was a very, 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 very young person, I played the piano. The piano evolved into the clarinet. And then I learned the bass clarinet. And then I came to my undergrad and I said, okay, I was a musician for so long, why should I even stop? So I minored in music. And then some people are like, so if you're so passionate about music, why don't you major in it? Yes, I have an answer for that. And that's because I needed a job. Due to the nature of the you-know-what, do you think anybody with a music major is going to find a job? Realistically, let's think about this for a minute. The Baltimore Symphony Orchestra is most likely closed. Any form of a symphony orchestra would be closed. I could understand music production, because you could be in the studio with somebody who is making number one hits and it'd be all good. I understand that, but how about fine arts music where you're in an orchestra or you're studying scores of music by Mozart or Bach or Beethoven, maybe it's Chopin. You're not necessarily going to find a job with a music major. But I didn't want to stop making music, so I was going to minor in it. There were some good professors within the music department. There were. I wish that I could speak to them a little bit more. There's one person I still keep in contact with, but due to the times, things change. But then there was an interview for a new professor. There were some professors who interviewed well, and I thought that they would fit the bill to be a music professor. But there was this one person who came in, and my gut feeling didn't feel right. So the person who got hired was the person I had the negative intuitions about. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went into the next semester. I'm taking this class, and something just didn't feel right. I was like, nah, something's not right. So the same professor was the conductor of the wind ensemble, and things still didn't feel right. So during that semester, I thought about picking up yet another instrument, the trumpet. I knew how to play the piano, I knew how to play clarinet, and because I knew how to play clarinet, I knew how to play bass clarinet. I just picked up the guitar. So in my mind, I was like, so, okay, what's more important, quantity or quality? The music professor wanted me to take basic trumpet because he needed more trumpets in the wind ensemble. Put a little bit of a side note on that. So I thought to myself, okay, I'd much rather play a few instruments very, very, very well and not play many instruments poorly or blah. So then, before wind ensemble practice happened, this music professor introduced me to the trumpet professor. And he said, Drew, we want to introduce you to the trumpet professor, and he's most likely going to teach you basic trumpet. I said, actually, I have a change of mind. I'm going to be taking intermediate guitar for next semester. And then immediately he was like, Drew, you're not logically making any sense. I was like, okay, now I know where your priorities are. So you want more people, you want more volume in the band, but what about the quality? Some people are very good at picking up things. Like they could pick up a paintbrush and they could start painting all these pictures. They can pick up a trumpet and they can play like Dizzy Gillespie or Wynton Marsalis or Miles Davis. Some people could pick up foreign languages like if it's no big deal. As far as picking up instruments, I couldn't do it within just a semester. How was I going to play the trumpet with quality only after learning it for a semester? So he told me that I logically didn't make sense. And that whole thing confirmed that he cared about quantity, but not necessarily quality. You could have a few people within a band and they could be top-notch musicians. You could have the best flautist. You could have the best clarinet player. You could have a great bassist. But they gotta sound good and they gotta have something within them that projects music that could amplify people's feels. But if you have people out there who are playing instruments like it's no big deal, it's just like da 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 da, and there's no soul in it, what's the point? The audience is probably going to feel some kind of way if you're going to put a trumpet player up there who doesn't actually know how to play it. Truth be told, I'd love to put more quality work out there in a little bit less amount of time. But in my honest opinion, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work. I care more about y'all, and I care so much that I want to make sure that y'all are seeing things with a fresh set of eyes, with a fresh mind, and a fresh heart. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what art is about, in my opinion. When I put something out there, I want something that is of substance. That is what makes the experience so powerful. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the sensation of Kairos. Before we part ways and leave, I have a relatively important question to ask of you. If you went to sleep tonight and you didn't wake up the next day, would you truly be satisfied with the life that you've lived? If your answer is no, then it's most definitely time to do some soul searching and think about some of the changes that you need to make within your life. I say this because there's a lot of things within our society that discriminate. Death, however, does not discriminate. I want to thank y'all for watching my video. If this is your first time, subscribe. Hit that button right down below. I'm also going to include my Etsy and Instagram within the description. I leave you all with much love, good spirits, and vibes. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.